And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, August 14th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Here on a Wednesday morning, the sun is shining. Going to be a wonderful Wednesday. We welcome you to our program. And, of course, each Wednesday we feature Cedar Stone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. Bob McDonald is President and Chief Executive Officer. He's on the phone with us this morning. Bob, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. It's great to be with you, and thank you for letting me dial in by phone. I've got an early morning starting outside the bank today. I've got some meetings, but thank you for letting me join you by phone.
We always appreciate having you, whether it's by phone or live in person. What's going on?
Well, not much. We're very busy, and I want to start out by saying that our Teacher of the Year program is already underway for our 2024-2025 year, and we started that yesterday. As you know, Coleman, we kind of kick the program off each year publicly. We go visit with all the school principals across the county, and W.P. Bone of Wilson County Motors and I did that yesterday morning. We went over and met with all the Lebanon Special School District principals. Director Mr. Brad Hutto was always real gracious for allowing us to come in and kick the program off to the principals, because the program's success depends on the principals buying into it and giving it good attention. They're in their respective schoolhouses. So we had a great program. Spent a few minutes updating them on the program, letting them know of the timetable of events, which begins in October, Coleman, when we deliver the packets to each school, and then they begin their selection process for their Teacher of the Year. And then various other activities go along with that timetable, and then the event this year, the banquet is scheduled for Friday, April 4th. It'll once again be in beautiful Bear Chapel of Cumberland University, and Cumberland's been one of our great supporters and over these 27 years, and they allow us to have our program there. And Dr. Paul Stumm's always involved with that program. But it's hard to believe, Coleman, we've been doing this year is our 27th year, and we work on it throughout the year, each year, planning and preparing for each year. So it's hard to believe that 27 years ago, our first Wilson County Teacher of the Year, Ms. Alexa Moscadelli, was elected, and so we've had 26 great teachers since that time be recognized as Teacher of the Year. But Coleman, at each banquet we have, everyone's a winner. So everyone is a Teacher of the Year from their respective school, and we enjoy celebrating not just those individual teachers, but all teachers and teaching as a vocation.
Well, it's been a great thing, and I'm glad you've been able to continue it. And I know a lot of people appreciate this, and especially the recipients, and the extra attention and a little extra money too that helps go a long way.
Yeah, the individual teacher gets money, and then the school from which he or she comes from gets some money, and again, it just takes so much support from, again, the various school systems, the directors of school, the school boards. So it's just we really enjoy doing it, and it's an honor for us to be able to do it, and we're looking forward to this year's events. And Coleman, you've been so supportive all these 27 years. Each year you will have the Teacher of the Year on your program, and so we thank you for all that you've done to support the program.
Well, we certainly enjoy having them, and it is something to look forward to. We're going to talk into banking this morning.
Well, we will. I think talking about the community, we do talk about banking, so thank you for letting me always bring up some type of event that we're engaged in. But interest rate seems to be on everyone's mind, and it certainly is ours. We're keeping a close eye on that. Of course, the Fed kept rates unchanged in their most recent meeting last week, but there's high anticipation that they will drop rates by at least 25 basis points at their meeting in September. I fully expect them to do that. We're starting to see some ease in inflation. We're seeing a slight uptick in unemployment, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a little cooling off of the economy, and so I think everyone's expecting that. We've seen some market volatility. The market had a rough day when they left rates unchanged, but now that they're discussing dropping rates next month, we're starting to see the stock market come back to us, and we're starting to see Coleman mortgage rates are dropping. Those rates are tied to longer-term treasuries, and we're seeing those rates drop. I was talking with Cindy Harrell, who does secondary market mortgage lending for us, and some of those rates are getting below 6%. And usually getting close to 6% is a good indication that it should have a good improvement with home buying and home refinancing and just home mortgages. So we've got a lot of optimism about where long-term rates are going in the coming months.
All right, we got just a few seconds to talk about that Simply Better free checking account.
Well, we can't end any program without that, but it is the backbone of our bank, Coleman. We believe that a checking account is the most important banking product. It's how every relationship begins, and so we've offered free checking from the very beginning. There are no secret fees of any kind, and if you want to do your banking the old-fashioned way, if you want to write checks and do that, we offer that for free. If you want to do your banking through technology and electronics, we offer that. Our checking account program is second to none, and we get compliments on it every day. And so we thank those listeners who bank with us for doing their banking with us, and for those listeners who do not bank with us now, we invite them to come in and talk with our great folks, and it'll be our honor and delight to be their bank.
By all means. Bob, thank you so much. We'll do it again next week.
Thanks, Coleman.
All right. Bob McDonald. He is President CEO, Cedar Stone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. 11 after the hour. This is the Wednesday we feature Cumberland University. Rusty Richardson is here as per usual. Rusty, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Rusty, of course, is Executive Director of Community Relations and External Affairs, and this is really an unusual situation this morning, and the two people that you have brought with us to be here with you today. And I don't want to steal your thunder, but I feel honored to be in the presence of both of these and you all at the same time.
Well, thanks, Coleman. It's great to have these two guests here this morning. I'll introduce them in just a few moments.
All right. Keep us in suspense.
Yeah, I'll keep them in suspense. Yes, that's right. I got a cliffhanger here. Come back in just 10 seconds and we'll find out who they are. But at Cumberland, it's a busy time of the year because we're getting ready to start our 183rd year. Callback is next week when the faculty and staff return. Fall athletes are already there. Students are moving into the residence halls. And next week is freshman orientation.
This is really an exciting time.
It's so exciting. And last year when we started the fall, we had 3,072 students. First time we were ever over 3,000 students. Mm-hmm. Well, we don't have 3,072 students this year. As of 5 o'clock yesterday, we had 3,399 students, right at 3,400. And that number is changing, it seems like, by the minute. And to give your listeners just a little bit of that breakdown, there are over 600 graduate students, over 700 new freshmen, 620 students either dual enrollment or early college, 170 transfers. And you add all those numbers up and add in the other mix, and that gets us at 3,400. And again, that number keeps going up. We won't know the final number until about early September because the way the official census is taken, 2 weeks after the first day of class, whoever's still there, that is the official number. But it's certainly going to be another record year for us, the highest number we've ever had in the 183-year history of Cumberland.
Do you think we're going to be on the plus side of 33.99, or will it be a little bit less than that?
I think we're going to be very much on the plus side,
right.
And it may even approach 3,500, which was Dr. Stumm's goal for this year. My guest may talk about the longer goal once I introduce them. But the other thing that happens next week, we have our Community Welcome Week. where local businesses will oftentimes put out signs supporting Cumberland students, welcoming Cumberland students. If they would like those signs, they're available at both the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber office and the Mount Juliet Chamber office, or they can come to campus and pick those up. Talked about Together We Rise, which is one of the slogans for Cumberland. So it's just a very exciting time. So much is happening, and the days are very full right now.
All right, you want to introduce, we need to go to a break. If you want to introduce, or do we wait till we come back?
Let's wait and keep them in suspense.
Okay. All right. We have two special guests this morning that Rusty will introduce after this break here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, get a battery installed in most vehicles. $149.95. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. There is a couple of accidents out here right now. It's loading up pretty good with volume on 24 westbound up through Antioch, coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. A little bit of rain could affect your drive down I-40 in certain parts of Dixon County this morning. Be careful. Looking at the radar, you could get wet down I-40 there in Kingston Springs also. Traffic's not bad, but it's heavy southbound on 65 around Long Hollow Pike coming down from the north. Hey, whether you need a new roof repair, roof inspection, check out Independent Roofing Specialist online. These guys are the best. IRSroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane & Crowell. At the offices of Kane & Crowell, our team of experienced attorneys is here to guide you through every step of the process. With a proven track record of success and a commitment to our clients and our community, look no further than the team at Kane & Crowell to fight for your rights and provide representation you deserve. 615-784-4800.
Hey, this is Dr. Derek Gregory, and I'm proud to announce to you the opening of our brand new dental practice, Gregory Dental Group, at 1746 West Main Street, just across the road from Sports Village. Come experience modern dentistry at its best. We're always welcoming new patients, and I truly look forward to taking the best care of all your dental needs. Come by or call us today.
That's Gregory Dental Group, 615-444-0322, or online at mylebanontndentist.com. Gregory Dental Group, compassion, knowledge, skill.
We continue here on this Wednesday. Welcome to our program featuring Cumberland University. Rusty Richardson is here, and now we're ready to introduce a couple of guests that you brought today.
Thanks, Coleman. Yes, normally your listeners are used to me bringing out members of the faculty or staff, but today I have two very special guests. We have Mr. Sam Hatcher, who currently serves as chair of the University Board of Trust, and Mr. Michael Moscadelli, who's the vice chair. So we thought it'd be good for your listeners to hear from some board members and how they see things happening at Cumberland and the actions they're taking to help Cumberland continue to grow and improve.
Well, no doubt. Sam, welcome again.
Thank you, Coleman.
And Michael Moscadelli, you've been here maybe once or twice, but don't see you as often as I do Sam.
That's
Not
right.
that we see him all the time, but occasionally. But it's good to have you both. And really, what a thrill to have the board chair and the vice chair with us this morning. Good idea, Rusty.
Well, thank you.
So, Sam, you're gonna tell us a little bit about your history with the board, and there's quite a bit to talk about here. We're probably going to have to make this brief.
I will make it very brief. I came on the board at Cumberland back in the mid-1980s, and it was just before the school transformed to a four-year university. Dr. Robert Bone, the late Dr. Robert Bone, was chairman of the board, and I shortly after that was elected vice chairman and served in that capacity for about 20 years. But I think...
Well, was that about the time Bob Clement came
Exactly. Here? Bob Clement came on board shortly after and maybe actually during the process of becoming a four-year university. Dr. Ernest Stockton, of course, was the president for a long period there, and then Bob Clement replaced him as president. But, I think hearing Rusty quote those numbers for enrollment this year, and if you look back, a good friend of mine and a good friend of Mike's Cliff Ellis, who coached basketball at Cumberland back during the junior college years. I was telling Coach Ellis a couple of days ago that we expected to be near 3,500 students this year, and I'll never forget his remark. He said, when I was at Coleman, he said, if we had 600 students, we were doing really well if we could have 600, enrolled. So Coleman has come a long way in really a relatively short period of time, and even though this is its 183rd year, I think it's remarkable that we have the enrollment that we do this year. And also, I just want to say that our enrollment is different. It's interesting in that we have students from 49 countries, 40 states, and just about every county in Tennessee. So it's a really good mix of demographics and cultural backgrounds for our students. And I think that's really important to the educational process.
Well, Michael Muscadelli, if you would, tell us a little bit about your history with the board.
Sure. Well, I'm a relative newcomer to the board. I've only been on the board maybe 5 or 6 years now, but not necessarily a newcomer to Cumberland. I was born and raised here in Lebanon, so that means I grew up going to Woody Hunt baseball camp and dreaming of playing ball on that pretty field on campus and that sort of thing. My wedding reception was at Baird Chapel. My in-laws, Boone and Sally Swain, actually both taught at Cumberland for a period of time. Boone coached with Coach Ellis. And then my father, of course, served on the board for 25 years maybe. Sam probably knows that better than I do.
So you're kind of following in his footsteps here.
That's right.
In that sense.
That's right. And then Katie and I, my wife Katie and I got involved at Cumberland through the Phoenix Ball. Primarily, we chaired the Phoenix Ball in 2016 and really got plugged into all the exciting things that are happening on campus and wanted to get more involved through that.
Well, let's talk about Cumberland's top 5 strategic priorities. And I would think that this kind of starts at the top and comes down. Somebody's come up with these 5 strategic priorities. Sam?
Well, and maybe as important about that is how we got to that. And I'd like to speak to that first quickly, but some 10 years ago, I believe about 8 years ago actually, the school went through a strategic plan at that time, and as things change, there's always a need to revise or take another look at a new strategic plan. And so our university just recently, probably 6 months ago, began this process with one of our board members, Dr. Ed Powell, who led the process to revise our strategic plan or create a new strategic plan going forward. And this involved, and I think this is really important, it involved members of the community, it involved staff at the university, faculty members at the university, trustees at the university. So we got a really round, diverse collection of individuals to help develop this strategic policy going forward, the strategic plan going forward. And that's how we've reached where we are today with that. I might let Mike speak a little bit to the points and not get into the weeds, so to speak, but just sort of tell you where we've gone with this.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, we also involve students and alumni as well.
Good point.
We're part of that group, so it was a well-rounded group for sure. But through the process, we identified 5 strategic objectives, and then from those big 5 objectives, we then broke those down into several specific tactics and then goals and metrics. You've met Dr. Stone. You know how numbers driven he is and metrics driven, and so I think this strategic plan reflects sort of his attitude towards all of that. But just briefly, they focus on enhanced student success and student life, enhanced faculty and staff focus, targeted enrollment growth, which we've heard today we're on track for, which is fantastic, enhanced brand awareness and reputation, and then finally, collaborative partnership. So you can see, just generally, it covers a lot of ground, and we're excited to get going on this.
There's this collective partnerships thing. I don't know what all that entails, but one of the things I think you really have done is to branch out in the community, doing so many things that maybe you're able to do with a larger enrollment, the bigger faculty, and more participation, but it hasn't always been that well done, I think, because maybe you couldn't years ago. Sam, you know what I'm talking about.
I think it's really important, and we're wanting to create, I believe, a focus where the community will actually wrap its arms around Cumberland University, just as Cumberland tries to make efforts to serve the community. And I think that's really important, Coleman. I'm glad you touched on that, because we said this before we came in here this morning, that we want our community to understand that Cumberland, founded in 1842, the values have not changed. And as a matter of fact, coming out of this strategic plan that we developed, we also developed a new mission statement, and I think that speaks volumes about what the school's purpose is, and it's transforming lives through the power of education. And that's sort of been Cumberland's focus since day one, and continues to be. You know, we still educate a number of first-generation college students, and our focus, I always loved it when Dr. Bone used to always say, Cumberland always attracts students from the hills and hollows of Middle Tennessee, and I just always love that, because I think that's so appropriate, and we want to keep those values as we move forward.
Well, I guess even Cordell Hull came from the hills of Tennessee.
Good example. Exactly. A very good example. A very good example. Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else about the 5 strategic priorities here? What you two, of course, are on the board. You have regular meetings. You I think, and being here almost next door, both of you part of the community. You know what's going on. You keep your ears and eyes to the ground as far as Cumberland goes. But we have Cumberland has come such a long way, and with rounded off 3,400 enrollment here, and as you were saying, 600 would have been a good enrollment a few decades ago. What do you attribute this latest to? A lot of things, but community involvement's got to be part of it.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that. And I really believe the value of the education at the university is so important now. And I'm not sure that people realize that, but just recently, I believe in June, Money Magazine came out with a report about 785 universities in the nation that they grade. And in Tennessee, I believe there were 13. I'm looking at Rusty and Mike to see if they'll back me up on this. But they assign a rating to universities that qualify for this rating, and maybe 2,800 universities nationwide, only 785 qualified. But in Tennessee, Vanderbilt ranked first with a 5-star rating, and Cumberland and Rhodes in Memphis ranked second with a 4.5 rating. So that speaks very highly, I think, of our university and where we've come. And I think that has a lot to do with our growth, to answer your question.
Well, I want to thank you both for being here. We've got to save a little time for Rusty to wrap it up with upcoming events. But Sam Hatcher, thank you so much. And Michael Moscadelli, really good to have you. And thanks for your service, because it takes quite a bit of time and dedication to do what you do and be a part of the board and keep it tuned as you do. All right, Rusty, upcoming events. All
right. As I mentioned earlier, there's Community Welcome Week this next week. You can find more information about that on the Cumberland website. The fall sports are getting underway this weekend. We have a major volleyball tournament on Friday and Saturday. Our men's and women's soccer teams both play on Saturday, so people can come out and start watching those games. The first home football game isn't until mid-September. They play a couple of away games to start the season, but of course there's always sporting events going on at Cumberland, and they can check the website on that. We do have a couple of major events coming up on August 26th. There's our convocation ceremony. That's the official kickoff for the semester. A lot of pomp and circumstance, and a chance for the new students to really start experience or having the Cumberland experience. On September 6th, we have a very important ceremony that will take place, recognizing 2 of the pillars of our community. On that day, we'll be dedicating the Randall and Peggy Clemens Lecture Hall, which is in Labrie Hall in the building, but it's one of the largest lecture halls on campus, and that's being dedicated to the Clemens. And of course, he's been a longtime board member and just, again, pillars of the community, so we're very happy to announce that. The calendar is full. We appreciate people coming out to those events. And so much of what we've talked about this morning, Dr. Stum has an acronym called ABCI. It's Assessment-Based Continuous Improvement, and that's really driving all of this. So we assess everything. He looks at the numbers, and that's really part of what drives all this growth and improvement, because we're constantly trying. And if you saw the details on the strategic priorities, everything in there is constantly trying to improve the quality of the education, the quality of the experience, the quality of the involvement in the community. Just so much moving parts going on all the time.
Well, I've noticed you've even improved the parking a little bit.
And we have to, with 3,400 students, we need to still make some more improvements there. And hopefully we can do that between now and a week from now. But that's always an issue for us.
Well, good program this morning. And Rusty, thanks for being with us. Sam Hatcher, Michael Marscadelli, we appreciate having you. And Rusty, we'll do it again next month.
Sounds good, Coleman. Thanks.
That is part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more. Hope you'll keep it right here, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot. Write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. There is a couple of accidents out here, a couple of rain showers as well, west and southwest of the Nashville area. Traffic's cranking up pretty good now on 65 north up through Williamson County, up through Franklin, Brentwood. 24 is trying to load up now with more volume as we stare at it live here out of Murfreesboro on 24 here at 840. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken has new items on the menu. They also offer DoorDash, Uber Eats delivery. Order online today. It's easyprincesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedar Stone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment for the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and see our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville, Cedar Stone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We'll have partly cloudy skies today with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, highs in the upper 80s. A chance of showers will continue tonight, lows in the middle 60s. And the partly cloudy on Thursday, chance of afternoon storms, highs in the lower 90s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your Severe View forecast, I'm Drew Richards.
No, I had a predecessor.
Coleman and Company, we welcome you to part two here on a Wednesday. And, of course, it's time for us to talk with John D. Langford of Edward Jones, who is right here this morning. John, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. And this morning, do you remember the first time that when you were driving and you had to parallel park your vehicle?
I don't remember the first time, but I know how parallel parking can you have to learn a little bit.
Well, I remember the first time I did mine, and my dad was with me, and you pull in and you think, oh, well, I've got this, and then you start to hear the tires scrape against the sidewalk, and you realize you didn't, and then you think, okay, well, I'm gonna back up and try it again. So you try it again, and this time you've got half the car out in traffic because you overcompensated. And then you say, okay, well, you've got a choice to make at that point. Do you want to back up and think, okay, well, this third time I'm going to get it right? Or do you do that back and forth where you inch forward 6 inches and back 6 inches, and next thing you know, you look in the restaurant next door and everybody's staring at you, and then you get scared, and then before you know it, you went to the restaurant to get something to eat, and you end up eating the ham and cheese sandwich at home because you just gave up and went home. Surprisingly enough, I actually had that conversation with somebody that came in my office for the first time last week, and the reason why was because they didn't think they had enough saved up for retirement. And then I had someone the week before that, well, it's too late to get started. And one of the things that happens is we get really anxious the first time we do something that we don't really know what we're doing. And, there's a reason why you have a financial advisor there, because they don't necessarily understand about PE ratios and alphas and betas and what a dividend pays and things of that nature. But they know that they need to do something to save for retirement, just like that person that wants to go to that restaurant and the only spot that's open is a parallel parking spot. And what we do is we help people along the way, just like my dad helped me.
Yeah, I wondered when you started this where you were going with that, but now we know.
And that's how we get there. A lot of times I know people don't. I understand and love a good spreadsheet from time to time, but the normal individual, they look at a spreadsheet and they see all the numbers and they look at it and they get overwhelmed and they say, you know what, I'm just not going to deal with it today. And then they don't deal with it 6 months from now. They don't deal with it a year from now. And next thing you know, they're 50 years old and they haven't started saving anything for retirement. And one of the things that we do with Edward Jones is take the baby steps. We'll make sure to get you out of the driveway. We'll make sure to get you down the road. And we'll get you in that parallel parking spot. It may take a couple tries. And you may start out and not really know exactly what you're doing. But 6 months down the road, you'll say, hey, this is really not that bad.
And you've had 10 years or more doing this?
I've had 10 years doing it, and before that, I was a client of Edward Jones.
Yeah.
So I've been investing since I was 16 years old, when my mom opened up a Roth IRA for me at Holly Credit Union in Paris, Tennessee. And over the years, we've learned about stocks, bonds, mutual funds, SEP IRAs. I met with a prospect yesterday. He has a trucking company about starting a simple IRA for them. Why? Because they're a small business that's under 100 employees, and it's basically a small business 401k program. But for them, they don't have the expenses of the 401k with a third-party administrator or a record keeper, but they still have the ability to have an employer-sponsored retirement plan for their business. And being able to have someone that has worked in this field, being able to have someone that has an MBA in finance, that is a certified financial planner, that's how we differentiate ourselves while also providing that service to the community. And what I'm here today to talk about is basically wherever you are in that spectrum, whether you're a business owner, whether you're that young person that just says, hey, I need to do something with retirement, or if you're that older person that may have an old 401k laying out there, we're here to help. So call us at 615-443-2090, and you'll either get me or my assistant, Lisa. We'll set up an appointment, and we'll help you get started on that road toward retirement.
And can tell everybody you're located at 1424 West Padua Parkway, Suite C. Somebody's there during regular business hours.
Yes, sir. We're there from 8 to 4:30. Sometimes I'm on the radio like I am right now. So, but this is one of the highlights of my week is getting here to every Wednesday to talk to you, Coleman. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. And you've got some good people coming up after me.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. We'll see you next Wednesday.
All right. Thanks, Coleman.
All right. John D. Langford with Edward Jones. Again, his location is 1424 West Padua Parkway, Suite C, right here in Lebanon. 22 before the hour. Let me introduce Michelle Hill, who is here to talk about the Empower Me Center. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Nice to see you again. I hope things are going well.
Things are going very well. Thank you.
And you've got a special guest this morning. morning. He's special to me in that I hadn't met him. I just heard about him till today. But tell everybody who he is.
Yes. So we are very, very thankful to have Bart Barker be our MC for our upcoming Party on the Property on September 22nd. Met Bart through a family member and through some connections through the school system, and just blown away by his enthusiasm and generosity and his ability to connect with his listeners, especially when he talks about our special needs friends. He's done some very amazing stories on them and made me cry, and all of our individuals with disabilities just absolutely adore him. So we're very grateful he's going to help us with our big event.
Bart, welcome to our program.
Oh, it's glad to be here, and thanks for the invite. I'm glad to be here this morning.
I think people know you from your day job.
If you have a student in Wilson County Schools, if you're a teacher, a staff member, then you're probably familiar to me by now. If you're a new family to the area, we'll get to know each other along the way. I serve as the Public Information Officer for Wilson County Schools, a position that I've held for the past 5 years. So it's right at about 5 years. And prior to that, my background is largely much in kind of your line of work in broadcasting. And I came over from News 2 in Nashville prior to taking this role.
Where are you from originally?
I am a West Tennessean. I am from Savannah, Tennessee. Nobody knows. I've met a few people along the way here that know where Savannah is, but when I say Pickwick Lake,
let me tell you, Savannah is on the other side of the Tennessee River from Lawrence.
Then he knows. But yes, Savannah. When I tell people that I grew up 60 miles from the nearest interstate, it really blows their mind a little bit. It is the catfish capital of the world. It is where the Shiloh National Battlefield is, a key landmark for the Civil War. But it is a great place. It's home. But Pickwick Lake, Hardin County, that's where I'm from.
All right. Well, one other thing, we'll get to the subject at hand here. But you had a time in television. How did all this come about? If you don't mind talking about it for a minute or so.
Yeah, just briefly. I was the kid when I was walking around. I would turn down like the sound on like Nintendo games, and I would commentate them like sports games. And my mom would be cleaning. She was like, "Who is he talking to?" She'd open up the door, and I would just be like broadcasting a game. It's what I knew I really wanted to do as a young adult. I graduated from MTSU, and my first job was serving as an anchor and a sports director at WBBJ TV in Jackson. I've made some stops along the way throughout the Midwest and back in West Tennessee, and then my final TV stop was at WKRN News 2 in Nashville, and here I am. Go work in public education, they said, and 6 months after I was on the job, that's when we had two destroying tornadoes that took two of our schools, and the pandemic set in. So, but I wouldn't have it any other way from what I'm doing right now.
Well, your connection with Michelle and the Empower Me Center.
Yeah, she, again, as she alluded to, we have a mutual friend that has a special needs child within our district. And at the heart of it, I am a storyteller. That's what I love to do. I love to really know, our schools offer a treasure chest of great stories. And that's what I want people to see. I want to pull back that curtain, and I want to show the best that our schools have to offer, because there's so much, and there's so many great students. And this young individual who I did a story on had became best buddies with a school bus driver. Michelle reached out to me. She had that mutual friend that was her child that I did the story on. And at the annual Empower Me luncheon every spring, that's where I met Michelle, and she invited me to sit at her table and said, "Hey, I want to talk to you about. I just want you to see what we do." That's really got the ball rolling, and we visited multiple times since then about the Empower Me Center. I've gone over there and seen firsthand what it's all about, and very excited about the event coming up in September.
The Empower Me Center, transforming the lives of individuals with disabilities. That's kind of your theme, right, Michelle?
Yes.
And you do have a groundbreaking ceremony that we want to talk about this morning. Now, it is a little bit in the future. It's over a month away, but you're here this morning to let everybody know about that. That's, I think, the main purpose for your visit. visit, but it's always good to, over the years, we've had you here from time to time as you have, actually, you've come a long way from your beginning in helping those individuals with disabilities.
Yes, sir. It's our 26th year of existence. And so I think I've said before, we're just getting started, though, because with a groundbreaking, that means you're getting started on something pretty big and important. So we're very excited.
So you're going to have a party on the property on September 22nd, 12 to 5 p.m., 5 hours. And Bart, you're going to be there.
Yeah, the planning is still ongoing, but everything that Michelle has filled me in on, I mean, it's more than just an event. It's more of a showcase of what is exactly the Empower Me Center. It's been around a long time, but it's about what this truly is at the heart of it, and it helps a lot of great people. And Michelle will talk a little bit more about that here in a few moments. But it's going to be a day of fun. It's going to be a day of just letting everyone know what the big plans are for the Empower Me Center, because she will also talk about this. It's pretty incredible.
Well, you have been talking about this for years, and even here from time to time on the radio with us. But you have come a long way, but you're not finished. I don't know whether you'll ever get finished or not.
Oh, come on, Coleman. Now we are going to be finished. I agree. Maybe not, because we're going to be taking it on the road is what we want to do.
Yeah.
Because there's not a community across the United States that doesn't need an Empower Me Center to help individuals with disabilities in their community.
Well, on September 22nd, you're wanting to get the word out here this morning, of course, and I see here that on your flyer it says bring your own chair, so you're expecting a lot of people. You don't have chairs for everybody. Also, rain date, September 29th, so you've got the bases covered pretty well here, it seems.
That's correct. This is actually our second year of doing it, so we started last year. We'll have, again, a huge 24-foot stage with a huge video wall, professionally staffed and done. One of our family members is in charge with a sound system, and so that does some of our major stars across country music, and so they put on quite the show. So we have live music. That's why we want everybody to bring some lawn chairs to listen to that. So Blues Brokers are playing. Kason Lester is playing. Luke Zellner, who's actually one of our staff members this past summer, and he wrote a song with our participants, and so they're going to showcase that song. And then we also have a special performance with Lebanon High School's choir, and so they have come out and have taught our kids some signs and some movements to a couple of songs, and they're going to showcase their talents as well.
So you're really showcasing local talent for this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, time for us to take a break. We've got more coming up, so stay with us here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Bates Ford. Get a regular oil change, $39.95 up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. A couple of accidents with some injuries out here. One in Antioch getting some attention at Murfreesboro Pike at Hobson Pike. That's tied up pretty good with fire EMS on the scene of that crash. Edmondson Pike at Nolensville Pike trying to clear up that wreck from earlier as it gets a little bit heavier now on Vietnam Vets westbound as you get on that ramp there to I-65 coming out of Hendersonville. It's loading up pretty good now on 40 westbound into Hermitage with that traffic flow coming in from Wilson County in that area. Prince's Hot Chicken has new items on their new menu. Check them out today. Order online, princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Your 401k is likely one of your most important assets, but it's only one part of a comprehensive retirement strategy. Edward Jones can help you understand how your retirement assets fit into your entire retirement picture, so you can work toward meeting your unique retirement goals. Contact me, John Langford, your Lebanon Edward Jones financial advisor at 1424 West Bedore Parkway. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
And this year specifically, the groundbreaking.
We thank you for joining us and continue here on a Wednesday morning, our final segment of Coleman and Company. We're talking with Michelle Hill and also Bart Barker about the Empower Me Center's groundbreaking ceremony. It's going to be on September 22nd, 12 to 5 p.m. Let's talk about your location. It took you a while to settle and really get something going. This is Michelle, you started so long ago, and you've been doing your thing, so to speak. You've been helping the individual with disabilities all these years, but you have made improvements all the way along, and you've had this dream to have your Empower Me Center, which you now have, but you're still not through. It's still going and growing. And the location there, 1160 South Hartman Drive in Lebanon.
Yes, sir. It's the south side of on South Hartman Drive, south of the interstate is where we are. So, and it has been a long time coming, but we are so excited about our future. We purchased the land several years ago, and we're all gung-ho and ready to go with continuing on. And then we found out it was going to cost about $350,000 to bring sewer to our property. And everyone was like, if you'll just wait, that sewer is going to come along South Hartman Drive. Somebody else will be putting it in. And so it's all about patience, timing, and we waited. And so we didn't chuck out $350,000. Nobody wants to give you a donation to pay for sewer. And so now's the time. Sewer's put in. They're down there right now putting up the electricity. The electric poles are going up everywhere. We've had other major pipes donated to us to help with a lot of the infrastructure. A lot of that's going on. And so we're just excited for everyone to come out. We will have an actual groundbreaking ceremony. On our luncheon that we had back in April, we went public with an in-kind donation, a $500,000 in-kind donation. Tim Stockton is our builder, and so he will be there to help us with doing a groundbreaking ceremony. Both mayors, Mayor Hutto and Mayor Bell, will also be present to speak at this groundbreaking ceremony as well. So we just want people to come out, learn more about our organization, have a good time. Got food trucks and all kinds of inflatables and games and all kinds of kids' activity areas. So we just want everybody to come out, enjoy this free event, have a good time with us.
And Bart, you're going to be there and be the MC, as I understand.
That is correct. And the key word here that Michelle, free. I'm the father of 2 small children. So Sunday afternoon that day, it's about getting out of the house, and finding something fun to do. And that will be there, the food trucks, inflatables, entertainment. So, hey, that's already a bonus within itself. But the event and the message behind it is even greater. And yeah, she approached me to MC the event largely because, we became familiar with each other. But the tie-in for me, to an extent, is the fact that the Empower Me Center services some of our Wilson County Schools students. Mm-hmm. And I am passionate about our students. I love our students. I love our staffs. Coleman, I'll tell you this. I was a student for 12 years. We've all gone through grade school, middle school, and high school. I really thought I knew what teachers and principals and staff members, I really thought I knew what they did. And the fact of the matter is, I had no clue. The love, the care, the dedication, the commitment that goes into these students day in and day out, the love. I mean, talking about the young child that had a story on, the connection he made with that school bus driver, it was just incredible. And just the little things like that make a huge difference. And so if I can be one small part of something that means so much to this community and beyond the borders of Wilson County, then I'm all about it.
Well, Michelle, you had this dream years ago, and I guess if you'd have to get an A for persistence.
Thank you, Coleman. I'll take that A.
I would agree.
you have stuck with it, and it hasn't been a bed of roses. There's been some roadblocks that you've encountered, and this sort of thing. But you have endured. I'm not saying we're at the end yet, but the future looks brighter probably now than it ever has.
When you are around individuals with disabilities, you want to help them. You want to do whatever you can do to make their lives better. And so there is no way anyone that's been involved with us for amount of time can sit there and say, we're going to just stop what we're doing. You have to keep going, because each year that goes by, there's more and more families that are wanting to be a part of our organization. We had 17 new families this past summer, and the testimonials that they have given us, and some I'm going to pass on to Bart so he can talk about those at the Empower Me Center's Party on the Property event, are just heart-wrenching, and we didn't have any opportunities for our child to go out and enjoy life with their friends, recreational opportunities, summer camp opportunities. And so that's what we are all about. And he's right. The majority of our participants are from here in Wilson County, but over the past 26 years, we've served individuals from 28 different Middle Tennessee counties. And we have individuals that come up from Alabama, and we've had some come down from Kentucky. So we are hitting a wide area, and but there's no stopping. You can't look. I'd invite anybody to look at some of these kids and meet them face to face and then tell them we're going to walk away. Can't do that. We've got to keep going and make this dream happen for them. It's their dream, not my dream.
And you've been almost continually fundraising all those 26 years, haven't you?
Yes, sir, absolutely. Even for this event, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to come in early. So people could put it on their calendar, and we are still looking for sponsors. If anyone is out there that's interested, they just need to, they can email me at michellehill@empowermecenter.com. They can reach out through us through social media if they are interested. We do have platinum sponsors of Wilson Bank and Trust, Southeastern Tank, Remax Exceptional Properties. Our gold sponsors are Shannon Speck Electric, Shenandoah Mills, and our silver sponsors so far are American Constructors, Icon Mechanical, Guest Insurance, Permobile, and then Aquasport Marine. So we're just looking for anybody that wants to get involved to help make this day extra special.
What is there right now?
So right now, the pad is done for both buildings. So we have a 10,000 square foot building. That's the one we're groundbreaking on, which will actually allow us to operate all of our programs that are existing now out of it. So that's the goal, is get that done as quickly as possible. The pad is also done for the 37,000 square foot building. So you'll see, and then the parking area is also laid out as well. So as far as the pads and the concrete or the gravel. So right now, like I said, there's a lot of infrastructure going on around there that doesn't really make it look like what's been happening, but there's a lot of behind the scenes that have to take place. All these permits you have to get, all these things that I don't know anything about, but I'm so glad. I was taught a long time ago, you surround yourself with people that know what they're doing, and I've been very blessed to have so many people a part of our team to help make this dream happen. So.
Do you have a plan or a timetable, so to speak, for future years?
Yes. So I have thrown it out there that our goal is to possibly be in this building by next summer. Mm-hmm. So it's a very lofty goal. Tim Stockton is doing everything he can. So is Daryl Gilley out there helping, and Los Design. They've been working so hard along with people at the city to try to help us get this going as fast as we can. That is the goal, because we had to turn away 150 kids this past summer. And so if we're in that building, we won't have to turn them away. And so that's the huge push for hopefully the community to cope, to come together and help us build this with as least amount of cash going out as possible, so that we can use those funds to help continuing to put in some of the other amenities. Like the first phase is the 10,000 square foot building. It's also the driving range and putting area. It's the bocce courts and it's the soccer fields. So that's phase one that we're trying to get done as quickly as possible.
All right. Well, it's a good progress report, but it's almost a never-ending thing. I mean, I can't see you stopping until you are forced to by age or whatever.
We're not going to talk about my age, Coleman.
Well, we've got about 3 minutes left here. Let's go over again the groundbreaking ceremony that's going to be taking place on September 22nd. And Bart, you can chime in here. You're going to be the MC. It's a free event, but food trucks. To kind of set the scene there for this day.
Yeah, of course, as the event, we just want to, in talking to Michelle about the planning of the event, it's just going to be the entertainment itself. Really, I'm more or less just going to kind of shepherd this thing along and just do some intros and do a few fun things here and there, but also the testimonial side. That's another thing, Coleman. I've been able to speak to a family or two about their involvement with Empower Me Center and what their lives would look like without this facility, without this program, organization, it would be very difficult. It brings so much to these families and these children about what Michelle and her team are able to provide them. So I've seen it firsthand. Michelle is so enthusiastic, energetic about it, but speaking to a family who's actually involved, a family or two, they can't say enough. And they can't say enough about Michelle and her staff and what they're able to do. This is as pure and as good a thing that you will ever come across. And if you are looking for, if you think about when you wake up on that day, and if you think to yourself, what can I do today that would make an impact in this community? This is your opportunity to come out, bring your family, have a great time, and receive a message of what this is all about, and that is helping children with disabilities, special needs children, their families, and really, you mentioned it, just keeping this thing growing. Mm-hmm. And Michelle is so persistent. She doesn't. She just keeps going. Just keep like that Energizer bunny. Just keeps going, and she does. And that's what I admire about her is her energy and her enthusiasm for this, because it is incredible.
Well, I want to thank you all for being here. Here in our last minute, we'll remind you again the Empower Me Center's groundbreaking ceremony set for September 22nd, 12 to 5 p.m. Bring your own chair. Rain date is September 29th, but let's say it's not going to rain.
That's right.
1160 South Hartman Drive. There'll be live music, property tours, food trucks, play area, a free event, and everyone is welcome. And that, in a nutshell, is kind of it. But thank you so much for being with us this morning, Bart Barker. It is good to meet you and to
you
have
as well.
You
thank
on
you,
the program. And Michelle, always good to have you. Appreciate what you're doing, and just wish you well as you continue.
Thank you, Coleman, very much.
That is going to do it for what's today?
Wednesday, the old Wednesday.
Yeah, this is Wednesday. Join us tomorrow for the Thursday edition. Until then, I wish you a wonderful day.